if you talk to your dad about motorcycles, one of the names you are most likely to hear is Yezdi. Yezdi has been a legendary brand in the Indian motorcycle market for many decades. In fact, I remember in my childhood, one of my uncles had a Yezdi, which I remember seeing in my childhood. But this brand has been gone from the Indian market for 2.5 decades. But if you knew anything about Yezdi, especially if you are from the older generation, you are going to be very excited because Yezdi is back, and it's back with a bang, with 3 new models in the market, one of which we have with us, and is the Yezdi Scrambler.
Start it up.
But before going into the review, we have an exciting announcement to make. For the first time in Assam, we are doing a giveaway to our followers and subscribers. We'll talk about the rules of the giveaway later in the video, so please make sure to watch till the end. So now let's come to the meat of our business. This beautiful motorcycle that we have in front of us, the Scrambler from Yezdi. I know the name sounds a bit derivative. It doesn't seem imaginative. It just called Scrambler. If you know anything about Scrambler, you may be wondering why and how is it called just the Scrambler, because you have Scrambler from Ducati, we have Street Scrambler from Triumph. But Scrambler is just a type of a motorcycle, so that's a word that cannot be copyrighted or trademarked. So Yezdi just named their bike Scrambler motorcycle Yezdi Scrambler and then got on with it. In terms of looks, this motorcycle is absolutely gorgeous. Just look at the stance of it. So I have a height of 5'7", and it's truly quite an imposing motorcycle. But even with a medium size height like mine, I can actually easily reach the ground and easily control the motorcycle. We have had this motorcycle for about a day and we rode it in very different conditions, from road to slight off-roading. We haven't done like very hardcore off-roading with it, but it can handle like mild off-roading with ease. So what are the characteristics of a Scrambler? Scrambler motorcycles were first built by British motorcyclists in the late 60s and early 70s when they were racing from one cafe to the other with their cafe racers. But the rules of the race was that you don't really need to follow a certain path. So some of those motorcyclists thought, why don't we just ride through the field and just go directly to that our destination. So that's how they started customizing their motorcycles for slight off-roading purposes, and that's how Scramblers were born. And for that reason, Scramblers have a very bare bones kind of a structure. So if you look at this motorcycle, this doesn't have a lot of fairing, this doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. The headlamp is a round classic LED headlamp. Although the LED part is not classic, but because it's a new Scrambler, it has LED lights, it has LED turn signals, all of them are LED. It has a slightly offset instrument cluster, slightly to the right side, which gives it that distinct Scrambler look. If you know the Ducati Scrambler, that also has a left offset instrument cluster. Even the wires are quite exposed, which some people may look at it as a negative point, but personally I love that look. One more characteristics of Scramblers and any off-roaders, to be honest, is that they have spoked wheels. So although alloy wheels are very popular, tubeless tires are very popular, for off-roading purposes you usually need spoked tubed tires, which come standard with this motorcycle. Like any Scrambler, it has a very neutral square riding position, very upright handlebars. It has very tall suspension in the front. It has an imposing 200 millimeters of ground clearance, which lets you drive again through any sort of terrain, not like maybe not very hardcore off-roading, but 200 millimeters is more than enough to handle most kind of terrains that we are going to get in most situations. Along with that, it has, from a classic point of view, it has those vintage telescopic suspensions in the front, then coil spring suspensions in the rear, but because it's a new Scrambler, it has all the modern amenities with itself. It has dual channel ABS. It comes in it can ride in 3 modes: road, off-road and rain. So even when you have different challenges for different terrains, this motorcycle can handle all of it. Coming to the specifications of this bike, this uses a liquid cooled 334cc engine. It's actually quite a familiar engine. All the Yezdi motorcycles actually use the engine from the Java Perak. That's a 334cc engine that produces 30 horsepower and 28.2 Newton meters of peak torque. But they have tweaked the engines to specifically meet the needs of all 3 of their motorcycles, and this engine has been tuned perfectly to behave well with the Scrambler. When we rode it for the entire day, we never felt like it would ever give any sort of unpredictable response. It had a very smooth linear torque curve, and it gave us a very predictable and a very steady sort of response all throughout the range. Keeping with the Scrambler vibe, Yezdi has provided a set of semi-knobbly tires with the motorcycles already. Depending on the city, depending on the dealership, you might get the MRF tire set or the CEAT tire set. This particular motorcycle happens to come with the MRF one, and it has dual exhaust. Actually, the engine is a single cylinder engine, but it comes with dual end cans, and it actually sounds really, really beautiful. Let's hear the sound of the motorcycle then once. Although we absolutely love this motorcycle, it's not without some of its small flaws. For example, the suspension seems to be a bit stiff, which it's okay for city riding, but potholes you might feel the jerk. The ergonomics doesn't seem to hold up, especially in off-roading condition. It may be a bit uncomfortable. The seat, although it's a ribbed seat which seems comfortable on shorter rides, but on longer tours it may become like literally a pain in the and along with that, I feel there are some small imperfections in terms of build quality. For example, if you look at the weldings on the motorcycle, they are like quite exposed and they're not really very well finished and well hidden. There are a lot of exposed wires which, like I said before, although I personally like with the Scrambler look, a lot of people may find it kind of off-putting. If Yezdi can take care of these simple little niggles, I think this Scrambler would become a perfect Scrambler for Indian conditions. Hey, remember I told you guys about a giveaway? So how do you participate in the giveaway? First, subscribe to our channel, then like this video, and in the comment section let us know what you thought about the motorcycle and what you thought about our video. And the rest of the instruction you can find on our Instagram page, the link to which you will find in the description box below. So don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel to join our Rad Street tribe. Thank you very much.